let's see. I need to set up parameters. Oh, you said it's using it. Okay. Sinclair model. I didn't. Right. I should have wrote. Fox Papa. Blah blah blah. Speed limit guy.
Yeah.
He whams way over into the fucking.
He sped the fuck up so he can get past that big rig, and then the moment he got past it, he slowed the fuck down. So I got stuck fucking side by side with the door.
Oh wow.
Fucking douchebag.
What a weirdo.
Fucking douchebag.
Around him.
I bet it's a woman. Oh, there's.
Get him out of our lives.
There's two right here that I want to go first. I want them to go. Once they go, then I can inside.
What are you talking about?
Drive over there. Huh?
Once who goes?
This guy.
Oh, those two. Okay, the ones that are number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not on your ass.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because they just look like the kind of people who sniff buttholes.
Romeo X-ray 457.8625 megahertz. Made set parameters and value settings using an Agilent 8714 Echo Tango network analyzer, 300 kilohertz, 3000 megahertz to tune a Sinclair model. Fox Papa 30401 Bravo -2-3 440-480 megahertz pre-selector, not a duplexer, pre-selector at Romeo X-ray 457.8625 megs. To tune a Sinclair Fox Papa 30401 Bravo 2-3 UHF pre-selector for Romeo X-ray 457 using Agilent Technologies A714 ET network analyzer and hardware from Sinclair Technologies. You'll want to measure S21 insertion loss, passband shape, and then peak at resonators at receive frequency, which is RX. Below is practical field bench setup that works well for UHF pre-selectors. Physical connections, don't need that. Analyzer setup, starting value, center 457.8625 megahertz, span 6 megahertz, start wide, narrow layer. If you want numeric entry style, blah blah blah, fuck that. Sweep IF settings, I don't fuck with the sweep settings, but 3 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz. Sweep time, I don't fuck with that. Display settings, measurement, S21 log mag. Oh god damn it! Okay, there it is. Scale 1 dB, scale division, reference level 0, marker 1, 457.825 megs. S11 if you want to verify input match after tuning. Yes, we do S11, space WR. Calibration, do 2-port calibration at ends of your desk cables. If no calculate available, at minimum perform response calibration. What trace should look like? For properly tuned RX pre-selector, peak insertion loss at center frequency. Who knows? I couldn't figure this motherfucker out. I can't find her notes. She's in Mexico. Loss typically 1 to 3 dB, depending on. So this is the argument. Watch marker amplitude. Okay, tuning procedure. Adjust each resonator slowly. Watch marker amplitude at 457.8625. Peak each screw for maximum signal, least loss. Move between cavities repeatedly. Never fully peak one cavity first. Bring them up together. It's probably my problem there. Shape for passband. Fuck passband. Final verification. Set span to 10 megs. It's funny. We all set to 10. If minimum separation is 5, or it's 5 separations 5. Center still peaked at 457.865 megs. No secondary peaks. Expected attenuation outside passband. Typical final analyzer settings. Center 457.865 megs. Span 1 meg. So yeah. There's no separation, so I don't, yeah, 1 meg. So insertion loss 1.0. Pass bandwidth, don't care, rejection. Which coaxial connector hooks up with which receptacle on a pre-selector? Don't care. Typical. How to connect? Okay. The ports are not labeled. Don't care. Identify each port so it's a clear model. Blah blah. Port identification. signal flow direction. Your unit only shows connector numbers. Sinclair model. If you want, you can send a photo. This is chat talking to me. If you want, you can send a photo of the ports, and I'll positively identify which is antenna and which is receiving. Thanks. That photo helps a lot. With this exact Sinclair FP model 304 unit security, we can identify the ports by Sinclair's. Goddamn. We can identify the ports by Sinclair's standard mechanical layouts for these compact 3-cavity pre-selectors. Port identification for your photo, left connector, antenna. And he was wrong, ChatGBT. The McClure mini duplexer read me wrong. The Sinclair mini duplexer Mike Romeo 33332 or 3332 Bravo 3 32 Bravo 3. What is the VSWR for it? ChatGPT says the Sinclair Mike Romeo 3332 Bravo -3 duplexer has a minimum input VSWR of 1.5 to 1 when connected to a 50 ohm system, so it maintains a pretty good impedance match and should perform well in your setup. I wrote, because 1.5 VSWR, I've been doing tuning these for a couple of years now. I've never seen one. VSWR, the lowest I ever seen was 14. Really, well, actually the highest. And I wrote, likely incorrect. VSWR should not be 1.5. 1.5 is the insertion loss. I need VSWR should be around 14 to 16. The official data sheet for the Sinclair MR3332 Bravo -3 duplexer states that the maximum input VSWR is 1.5 to 1 when using a 50 ohm system. The previous mention that VSWR should be higher is incorrect. It's actually specified to 1.5 to 1 and the insertion loss to be I did some looking. I looked at one place on the internet, which is stupid, and I thought it was Sinclair. I thought I was. This is what I hate about the internet, because I wrote Sinclair model VSWR blah blah. I don't know. I don't. Maybe they shouldn't have to fix this, but so I go to it takes me to a website. I click on it. That's my own stupid fault for not looking, for not seeing which exactly .com are you going to. And it says 1.5. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, and I wrote, I stand corrected. I realized later on, after doing some looking around, that that was wrong. It's actually, it is supposed to be 14 VSWR. And I thought, well, fuck, how does Sinclair not know their own shit? And I went back to that site, and I looked up at the. It's funny because it says it right there, their logo at the top of the page. In your brain, you figure, in your peripheral vision, you're thinking, that's just the Sinclair shit. I look up there, it says, Antenna Farm. I was on Antenna Farm's website. It's for anybody that wants to know anything about it. It's antennas, radio antennas. And, okay, CSM, Sinclair, this is me. Sinclair mini duplexer model MR3332 Bravo 3. Can return loss dB be considered VSWR? Great question. So, ChatGPT. So return loss and VSWR are related, but they're not exactly the same thing. Problem I'm having with the model, a return loss of 1.5 and isolation of 65. I'm finding that there's information on the internet that VSWR is 1.5, which is really low. It should be around in the 20s. The return loss here on their data sheet, Sinclair's data sheet says 20. Now that would be attainable as far as VSWR. I see what. But I cannot tune the isolation to 1.5. Or, I'm sorry, I cannot tune this duplexer with the insertion 1.5, isolation 65, and with the VSWR low as 1.5. It's just not doable. Exactly, yeah, that's the tricky part. It's funny, this is a machine type. If the data sheet says you should be getting a return loss of around 20 dBi, that would indeed correspond to a much higher VSWR, like you said, around 1 to 20, so it sounds like there's some mismatch. This is where I kind of dropped off here, but I have to go back to work. Yeah, it's my first argument. It's actually one of my first conversations with Chad.